All right, Pangburn peeps, we are live. It is May 29th, 2020. Rent is almost due, folks. We are live. Thank you so much for tuning in. Those of you who are tuning in after the fact, I still appreciate you, even though you couldn't make it. Let's build this audience up. We got our guest, Angelo John Gage, coming on later in about an hour. He will be on and we will be talking all kinds of things, including what's going on in the United States with the George Floyd protests. And we'll be talking about many things. We're going to be talking about free speech. We're going to be talking about the future world that Angelo wishes to see for his kids. What else? We're going to be talking about circumcision, baby dick cutting. Oh no, I just lost 1,000 followers. That's what typically happens when I talk about that. My screen is looking like I'm like whited out or something. Oh well. We'll rock with it. Please share around this stream. Let's get people in the room. Rock and roll, rock and roll. I'm going to open this on a different screen because I'm not actually seeing what is going on. Okay, there we go. Yeah. Okay, cool. Make sure you hit the like button, guys. I'm just sharing the link around right now. Rock and roll. He's a roller, a high roller, baby. John Atkinson, what up, what up? Good to see you. We will be talking about baby dick slicing today. Right up your alley. Okay, yes, I'm doing this. Let's go. Rock and roll party queen. Yeah, I need to adjust my camera. It's like gamma or something. Is that the right one? I don't even know if I can configure. It's like the saturation, maybe? It's kind of making me look not human. Oh yeah, I think that was it. Now I have color on my face. All right, cool. Okay, gonna close that. I'm gonna share the link right now. Make sure you hit that like button if you're tuning in. This is going to be an awesome night. We're going to be talking everything that no one else likes to talk about. The truth, because that's what you get here. You see, here at Pangburn, you actually have to be able to demonstrate what you believe to be true. It doesn't matter if you scream really loud or if you just feel that it should be true. You actually have to be able to demonstrate it with logic and critical thinking and strong argumentation, staying away from logical fallacies, you know, all that fun stuff. Zents29, welcome back. Welcome, welcome. Says, what's up? My last comment was not approved by YouTube. I guess I have to be more careful. Yeah, sometimes YouTube jumps in. Usually they just hold it for review, though, and everything gets approved. So cool. Okay, I'm putting this over there. There's a live stream box there. It's time to share here. Okay. Share with all your friends. Share with all your fans. I'm your fans. I am your fan. That's what I'm trying to say. Okay, where's my group that's always chatting about stuff? Okay, here. Okay, cool. I'll share there. Now I'm going to share with the Pangburn peeps. The Pangburn page is busy today. People are debating, talking about recent events in the United States. Of course, tragically, George Floyd was killed. What the... I'm still having something really weird going on with my... Can I default this? Oh yeah, default, okay. Okay, now I look more normal. There we go. All right. Yes, the tragic death of George Floyd. Charges have been laid now. And that's a good thing. Okay, share that there. Let's build this audience. Stay on this page. I don't know why, but Facebook like hides all my posts from audience now, so I have to like sneak it in sometimes. What have you all been up to? Say hello in the chat. Let me know you're alive. Be alive. Be alive. Fuck you, Pangburn. Fuck the air you breathe. Yeah. Oh, maybe I'll talk about that a little bit later. Okay, I'm going to share that with the Pangburn page. If you're just getting in the room, we're just getting going here. I mean the Pangburn group. Groups. Pangburn group. That's something I should probably work on building. I want to share this with another group. The debate group. Well, yeah, let's do that. I wish from my desktop I could share to multiple groups at a time. Maybe there is a way. Maybe I just don't know. Because I don't know everything, guys. I don't. That's why I love having conversations all the time. I change my mind, rework ideas. That's what skepticism is, and that's what the scientific process is. Let's go with atheists. Let's share with atheists. Yeah, let's do that. Okay. Rock and roll. I'm going to do something quickly with the Insta world. Hey, you guys. Right on. Oh yeah, and I'll... He's Quagmire. You never really know what he's gonna do next. He's Quagmire. Just do a quick, Zen29, just do a quick search of Angelo John Gage. I tend not to look in too much to any guests that come on. I mean, some of them I know. Okay, I'm going to video myself doing something stupid. Improv. Okay, I'm gonna... Do I have to hold it down the way I do? He's Quagmire. You never really know what he's gonna do. Oh! Hi, I didn't see you there. Because we are live. We are live, youtube.com/Pangburn. We have a live podcast today starting in about 45 minutes. And today's guest is Angelo John Gage. He used to be in the U.S. military. He is a free speech advocate. And we're going to be talking about many things, including what's going on in the United States right now. Oh, I clicked the wrong thing. Why do I click the wrong thing? I'm trying to click with my other arm while I keep this holding down on the Instagram video. But we'll be talking about the terrible death of George Floyd and murder, essentially. At least that's what the perpetrator is being charged with, or potential perpetrator. Or perpetrator. But anyways, I only got like 10 seconds left. I'm rambling. But we are live, youtube.com/Pangburn. Join us. That's probably my worst one yet. Sick. Now I got to put one of those pretty filters on. Okay, there we go. Then I'll put youtube.com/Pangburn. I'll share that. I'll go live on Twitter. Hey, Twitter. I'll do that after this is done loading. How are y'all doing today? We got 14 in the room. Giggity. Giggity, giggity, goo. John Atkinson says, it's Trump's fault. He signed that order and now you are blocked. LOL. I think that's what happened. They're going to just start censoring everyone. I feel like this YouTube channel gets censored, but whatever. Hit that like button, guys. You know you wanna. Okay, I think that says, oh, finishing up still. Okay, that worked. Cool. And now I'm going to go to Periscope, because that's how I go live on Twitter. Okay, go here. Okay, got it. An important update. I haven't opened this in a while. I don't usually go live on Twitter. That's where my haters hang out. With their anonymous accounts. While masturbating. Oh, fuck Pangburn. What are we doing? We are live at you to the tube. Very nice. We are live at youtube.com/Pangburn. So I need to turn this around, of course. And I think I usually put it there. What up, Twitter? It's your favorite guy. We are live. youtube.com/Pangburn. What do you think of my Johnny Cash shirt? Well, if you love it, you can't have it. Because it's mine. Yeah. We're going to be talking all kinds of things today. We have... Yes, sorry. I got corrected by Zens29. I said, for the love of God. And he says, you mean for the love of science? Yes, you are correct, Zens29. See, the filter's way better on Periscope. You can't see my breakouts from working out. I've been working out a lot lately, guys. I do have this Pangburn fitness page where I might start showing my hilarious workout routines. And maybe my diet and stuff. If you guys are interested, you can find it on Facebook. I probably won't be promoting it at all. I'll probably just be posting there once in a while just to add accountability to myself. But yeah, today we're going to be talking I was about to say we're going to be talking with George Floyd, but of course George Floyd was the person who tragically was killed in what seems to be just a horrific accident / horrible policing. It's hard to describe what happened. But I'm going to be talking about that and other things with Angelo John Gage. He is he used to be in the U.S. Military, according to his Twitter profile. He is anti-war. He is pro-free speech. So we're going to be talking about a lot of cool things today. I think I'm just going to keep... I don't know how much battery I have with I don't even know if there's comments happening here. Doesn't matter. Uh, oh, actually, I can check here. I just want to make sure it's working. Gonna do next, he's Quagmire, Quagmire, giggity giggity goo. Is it even broadcasting? Oh yeah, apparently it is, but I don't even see it. Like when I open Twitter, I don't even see it. Weird. I did see some important update thing, and it didn't even like. I didn't even read it. I should have read it. It was probably like, we no longer support Android to Twitter. Well, fine. I'll just have to go iPhone again. Andrew T, what up? One of our moderators, Andrew T, in the room, says Johnny Cash on entering. He should have said, I'm Johnny Cash. That would have been cool. Zen29 says, it's not hard to describe for me. The man was murdered. Yeah, no, that's right, but I'm talking about from the perspective of the perpetrator. Yeah, in general, Twitter is shit. I do my best to try and like attract decent people to that platform, but it seems like the place where all of the pretentious cunts go. You know what I mean? Okay. Now, yeah, see, I don't know. Yeah, like I don't even think Twitter is broadcasting this right now. Oh, you know what? I'm probably the biggest idiot ever. Oh, I am. I am. I think I'm just broadcasting to Periscope right now. I'm an idiot. I'm sorry. It's not Twitter's fault. Even though what I said about, the place where the cunts hang out, that's still true. There we go. Okay, I clicked Twitter. Now I have to reverse it and do this all again. Hey, Twitter, it's your favorite guy. I had to finger the camera. But anyways, what up? Anyone who's interested, we are live at youtube.com/Pangburn. We're hanging out. We will have a guest on today, and the guest will be Angelo John Gage. Oh yeah, he will be on. He used to work for the U.S. military. He is anti-war, pro-free speech, and we're going to be talking about a lot of different things, including the George Floyd tragedy in the United States and what's going on with the rioting and the protesting. What else we'll be talking about a lot of different philosophical topics. I want to get to know Angelo. I really don't know much about him. We, funnily enough, we connected over baby dick cutting because we both see the reality of how immoral it is. So that's how we connected, I think, on Twitter. But yeah, he seems like a really interesting person, and I've seen some really interesting posts from him. So we'll be talking about a lot of things. And he has his own YouTube channel as well, which we will be sure to promote here today. Now I'm going to check if this worked on the Twitter. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, now it's working now. Cool, man. He's Quagmire. Aaron. Okay, we got Aaron in the room, says, Travis, based on your last live stream, you are wildly uneducated on race issues. I ask you, please do not fan the flame on the George Floyd situation unless you have been reading relevant books. So that's just a list of weird platitudes. Be specific. Tell me where I am wrong based on my last live stream. Tell me something I said that is incorrect or untrue, or you think is just so egregious. And I will wait. Yeah, so I think I just wanted to notify people on Twitter that this is going on. So youtube.com/Pangburn. Would love to have you guys come in, engage in the chat. And most importantly, for my haters, you can come and post links and terrible things about me, because I know that's what you want to masturbate to. But anyways, hope you guys come and engage. It's going to be fun. We're going to be talking about a lot of different issues. See you there. See, it's funny to me, but that really is going to enrage people. You know, fucking Pangburn, he should be dead. Okay, cool. Okay, we got lots of stuff. Let's take a look. I was gonna pull up some video of what's going on with these protests. Some of the protest footage. At least the stuff I've been able to find on YouTube. Oh, what was I gonna do? Oh yeah, right. Giggity giggity goo. Does anyone else watch Family Guy religiously? Or am I the only one? I mean, Peter is definitely my favorite, but there is a small spot in my heart for every single Family Guy character. Oh yeah, right. I was going to do this. Here's Greg-Mar. Share the links around. Let's get a good audience in here tonight. We are very early, so there aren't going to be many. At least to start until we get going. Or I'm going to adjust some of the YouTube descriptions while we're sitting here, and I'm going to see if I can affect the outcome of how many people are seeing this. Maybe I should just put in like PewDiePie in the description. Can you imagine if I was that douchey? We get all these people showing up in the room. They're like just talking all kinds of nonsense, expecting it to be accepted. Life is good. Life is good. Life is good. I'm wearing a Johnny Cash shirt. You wish it was you. I'm kind of hyper today, if you haven't noticed. Oh, wait a sec. Oh, yeah. Do 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 do. La da 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 da. Dun, 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 dun. Okay, I just added some hilarious algorithms or things into the description. We'll see what happens. Share this link with your friends, your family, people who like having interesting discussions. I'll be with you in a minute, chat. I'm just seeing what I can do with YouTube here. I want us to get like at least 1,000 in the room here. Share with your Facebook groups. Share with your peeps. I'm gonna throw. Actually, for now, I'm going to. While I'm doing this, not that one. I'm gonna throw up this one. I just had this video queued up. Let's take a look.
That's the ominous warning from the US president after another violent day of protests in America. These were the extraordinary scenes on the streets of Minneapolis today as anger deepens over the death of George Floyd, an unarmed black man at the hands of police. In one part of the city, which was overrun by protests, they stormed a local station, forcing officers to flee as it was set on fire. There are now fears the violence is spreading across America. Several other protests have erupted. Here's our North America correspondent, Catherine Diss.
Catherine Deuce.
For the third day in a
terrible last
row,
name.
Minneapolis is burning, a message of protest in words and flames. The demonstrators converged on the police precinct where the officers involved in the death of George Floyd were stationed. Soon it too was alight, and the police were forced to flee their own stronghold.
It seems that the protesters have taken over the police station and it's on fire.
National Guard troops have been called in by the state governor, with local police struggling to cope with the scale of the unrest. There had been peaceful protests earlier in the day.
We want justice.
But the anger was impossible to contain.
Oh my God.
Stores were looted and vandalised, and more fires were lit, metres away from the ruins of buildings destroyed the night before. The family of George Floyd say the police responsible for his death should be given the death penalty.
That was my oldest brother. I love him. I'm never going to get my brother back.
In a late-night tweet, the president condemned the looters, saying the military could assist, adding when the looting starts, the shooting starts. Soon after, Twitter flagged that comment as glorifying violence and hid the tweet behind a warning. The US Department of Justice says its investigation is a top priority and it's assigned experienced prosecutors to the case. The US President Donald Trump has described George Floyd's death as sad and tragic and asked authorities to expedite their investigations. The case is being handled by the same team which successfully prosecuted an officer who killed Australian woman Justine Damond-Ruzcek 3 years ago, one of the few cases where a policeman was brought to justice.
I have leading the prosecution team the two prosecutors that brought justice in the Justine Damond case.
Prosecutors say if the case is rushed, it might damage their chances of prosecution. But across the country, there's little sign of patience. In New York, there were several arrests.
Yeah, patience is key here, folks. Patience is key. There's no justification for burning down buildings, attacking other people who have nothing to do with that particular crime. It's not justified. No, I need to hide that window. That's incredibly sad, seeing his brother talking like that. Whew. Incredibly sad. Let's see. We got... Sorry, I've been missing some chat. Aaron says, you completely ignored the history of the policing institution and its role in inducing class warfare. You completely ignored the history of policing institution and its role of inducing class warfare. Have you demonstrated that to be a fact? You have to demonstrate that to be a fact. You said, I left a long comment on your post live stream and having a decent discussion with one of your viewers. So far, it is great. They seem to honestly want to discuss as I do. Yeah, so you think I ignored something, but that's not what I asked you. I asked you what specifically did I say or claim that you disagree with, so we can have a conversation about that. Because you started this off by saying, based on your last session, you are wildly uneducated on race issues. So demonstrate how I'm... I ask you, please do not fan the flame of George Floyd's situation. So... yeah, so that fact or that potential fact that you've just laid out, you completely ignored the history of policing institution. That may be important to you in this circumstance, but that doesn't mean it's important to the argument of what ought to happen now. What ought to happen now in this situation. Zen29 says, I fucking love Family Guy so much. No joke. Andrew T says, Brian is my favorite personality. Brian's pretty good. Ishitaka Hussein says, "Hi, Pangburn. I'm in the UK and heard about George Floyd today. It's awful. Yeah, it's terrible tragedy. Terrible. And the key perpetrator is in custody and is being charged. And yeah, like the news article just said, Trump did ask that law enforcement expedite this, but obviously law enforcement isn't about rushing things. That's not what it's about. And you don't want to set up a situation where people think that if you create riots and chaos, that will help your cause to expedite things. You don't want to set that precedent. Andrew T says, Aaron, wouldn't a discussion be the best way to inform the other side? Yeah, anyone who's trying to shut down conversations, I don't know if that's what Aaron's doing, but they don't understand the importance of the war of ideas. Andrew T says, Penguin, I guarantee if you put a picture of Zac Efron or Kate Beckinsale, you will increase viewership by 3,000%. Can you imagine? Zen29 says, I definitely don't agree with the rioting, but the rioting was done by people who weren't there for... The rioting was done for people who weren't there for a good reason. So if you're going to claim that, Zents29, you have to demonstrate that. There can still be people rioting who believe that they are doing the right thing and have good reason to do so, to show their outrage. So you have to demonstrate that if you're going to say that the people who were actually doing the rioting, they weren't the right ones. That's the no true Scotsman fallacy that religions use all the time. Oh yeah, those aren't real Christians who are doing that over there. Or those aren't real Jews who are, circumcising the infant's penis and then the rabbi's putting his mouth and sucking, doing the suction on the baby's penis. It's like, oh, that's not a real Jew. It's like, it's no true Scotsman fallacy. Aaron said, I disagreed with almost everything you said. Okay, yeah. And it does matter because, in my view, the police institution itself is the problem. It isn't the specific cop that was the issue, but the entire... So are you able to demonstrate that there is a widespread issue within policing? Because you do understand that these cases that happen, compared to how many people are apprehended and how many people are arrested, this is very rare, right? Oscar Obiaha says, the response is stupid, I have to say. The way people are reacting, burning buildings and looting, why violence? Exactly. That is monkey business, guys. That is monkey business. We do not need to devolve ourselves back to, it's chaos, let's go steal shit. That's stupid. It's stupid. Yeah, there's like try to justify the looting right now to me. Someone justify looting within this context. Da 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 da. We'll have our guest on in about a half hour. Yeah, and you guys, there's a lot of conversation happening on our Facebook, main Facebook page. That's facebook.com/PangburnInspire or at PangburnInspire on Facebook. I'll give you guys the link in the chat. Please do go and engage. Zen29 says, okay, Pangburn, I'll rephrase, and I agree. I can't know the intent of the looters being there, but my basic point, though poorly phrased, was that the looters took something decent and made it into a mockery of what it should have been. Yeah, so I totally agree with that. And I totally agree with, any form of peaceful protest, and it doesn't matter, and it's not worth anything if your peaceful protest then turns into burning down buildings and flipping cars and burning cars and smashing in the vehicles of police officers that had nothing to do with that incident. Like I saw one group of guys start beating up a police officer today who was just trying to like calm down the situation, and they're just beating him up because he's a police officer. This is monkey business, guys. This is just lunacy, idiotic. Don't even try to justify it. Aaron, if you're in the chat, try to justify it. Try to justify it. Or are you going to make another argument from authority? Ishitaka Hussein says, at Pangburn, is there any part of the rioting a response to the anxiety from 2 months of lockdown? I mean, if there is that extra bit of anxiety, like rationality must be able to overcome it, because I would say the realities of COVID-19 have kind of diminished in the anxiety spectrum in the past month or a couple weeks, at least from what I'm seeing. The fear mongering has slowed down, which is good, which is a good thing. People are still taking precautions, but Zen29 says, yes, it is bullshit, Penguin. Thanks for making me rephrase. No problem, brother. That's what this is all about. I say shit all the time that I need to rephrase because I catch myself committing a fallacy or just hashtag wrong think. What else? Let's see. Group protesting. Here's some live from ABC 7 that we could take a look at.
303, which is a riot gun that fires a plastic projectile with metal pellets inside of it.
So people throwing shit at each other.
Taken
the riot
much
police
more action to clear this out.
Have to be
and
called
it
in.
Is working.
Man.
My eyes are now burning from the tear gas. Wow.
Sorry, Dan. I've had that happen to me before. It's no fun. Don't rub your eyes. It makes it worse, as you know.
Yeah. But it's interesting because they aren't just going out at the protesters right in front of them. They are firing off to the side over our heads as well. They are now. So,
and I definitely agree that there are people who are protesting who are genuine about their cause, and they're just so mad and angry and they lose control and they start just smashing things. It's like there's no justification for it. No justification for it. But I understand the human ape element to it. I mean, we are all African apes, and when our emotions get to a certain point, everyone does have their breaking point, right? Where they just go ape. They literally go ape shit, and lose it. But you need to be able to control yourselves. We're all living in society together. Andrew T, moderator. Everyone say hi to Andrew. Andrew T says, at Pangburn, what do you think about certain chaos agents and anarchist groups who often infiltrate peaceful protests with their own agenda? I think that's an important thing to remember here as well. Yeah, 100%. 100%. You always see groups that hate law enforcement show up, people that just want to spread chaos, people who just want to steal shit. Anarchist groups, Antifa usually show up at these things and look at this as an opportunity to start screaming white supremacist and pointing at every white police officer. Aaron says, what argument did I make was from authority? You said that I would have to read some books. You assumed that I hadn't read scholarly material on what you were talking about, right? And then you say, but like I said, the policing institution is the problem. Demonstrate that. Demonstrate that the policing institution is the problem. That officer made a horrific mistake, and he's going to pay for it. But tell me how it's an institutional problem. They don't promote racism in law enforcement. Is that what you're getting at here? You say, I do not believe in violence. I am a pacifist. Well, pacifism is nonsensical. You don't think there's ever a time for violence? World War II? To my understanding, that's what pacifism is. Like when you say, I don't believe in violence. But property and civil disobedience has shown... But property and civil disobedience... What about assault, brava? People are being assaulted. To be effective, I don't condone everything they are doing, obviously. Okay, that's good. I'm glad you qualified that. Okay, Oscar Obiawaha. Oscar the Grouch says no, I'm kidding. Says at Pangburn, I have to counter you. I'm going to just mute this feed. I'm getting better at running OBS. I think. I have to counter you on one thing. I know the amount of white people get killed per year is higher, but I think ratio is lower. So the same amount of people get killed divided the population of race. Do you continue to say anything else? No, I don't think you do. So we have to look at the incarceration rates of if we're having a conversation about race, which most people just shit their pants when they start having that conversation. But if we're going to have a conversation about race, you have to ask the question, why? And you have to only answer with evidence. Ask the question, why is it that so many African-American black males are incarcerated in the United States? You have to look at that problem and answer it with evidence, strong argument, logic. You can't just say, racism. You have to be able to demonstrate the claim you make as to why you believe that to be the case. So even yes, more white people are killed by police every year in the United States, but there's more white people in the United States. But also you got to think of how many people are, you have to look at crime rates by race to understand the statistics as well. Like it's not a great avenue to go down, because you start realizing that, you might unveil cultural issues within cultures related to race that have to be fixed. And I'm not saying it's necessarily one group or the other or whatever, but you'll find pockets of cultural issues that are race-based all around the world. So then you actually have to sit down and have a hard conversation about that. And a lot of people don't want to, because they get labeled racist or whatever. But, I'm happy to have those conversations, because I don't care if someone labels me a racist or a neo-Nazi or whatever just by engaging in intellectual discourse about a topic. And if someone says, you shouldn't be talking about this topic because you're not a woman, or you're not black, or you're not Hispanic, I don't care about that. What I care about is what Martin Luther King Jr. cared about, is the content of what comes out of your mouth, the content of your character, not the color of your skin. So anyone can talk about anything, or whatever happens to be between your legs. Jesse Peter says, Pangburn, hasn't the incarceration difference rates been linked to the fact that African American tend to get harsher sentences? No, that hasn't been demonstrated. For committing the same crimes as white Americans? No, that hasn't been demonstrated. If you think it has been demonstrated, post the evidence here. Gregory Malchuk says, Martin Luther King Jr. was a communist and a rape accomplice. Whether that's true or not, what I was quoting about him still stands. That doesn't matter. Really? YouTube? Hey, just in case Andrew or anyone else who's moderating, make sure you're not removing comments. I know it's not you guys. But no one can remove comments. Maybe it's YouTube. Maybe the YouTube algorithm's doing it, but it's definitely not me. So, Andrew, have you noticed anything on your end? Yeah, again, you guys are going to see lots of posts on social media from people saying, you know, a black person, statistically, a black person is going to serve more time than a white person if they get charged for X. That's never been demonstrated, folks. If you think it has, and you think I'm wrong, post your evidence, okay? Are we going to watch anything else? Oh, you know what? Let's watch a video on Angelo. Maybe we'll do that to get ready. Our guest will be with us in 15 minutes, guys. Angelo John Gage. So oh, that was loud. Or at least in my ear. Maybe it wasn't loud for you guys. So I'm going to pull this up and we can have a quick view. Whoa, that just went full screen on my ass. Let's go that one. Yes. So you guys, if you guys are interested after the podcast or before, whatever, in checking out our guest today, he is on YouTube. If you type in Reality Engaged with Angelo John Gage, you'll find his channel. The link. Am I able to give you guys a YouTube link? I think I am. Here's his YouTube link of our guest for today. How many? Oh my God! I just checked how many people we got in the room. There's 1,300. Did anyone see when that spiked? I didn't even realize. Anyways, Reality Engaged. Let's listen to this intro video on Angelo's channel. This is who we're talking with today.
Hi everyone, my name is Angelo John Gage and welcome to my YouTube channel. Here you'll find that this is the home of the live show called Reality Engage, which I am the host of. And it's essentially similar to a Joe Rogan podcast, videocast, whatever you want to call it, where I invite someone to talk about a specific topic and just let them have the floor unchallenged so they can share their view of the world, or in other words, view of reality. That's why it's called Reality Engaged, to everyone else to see why they believe what they believe and if my audience agrees with them or not. Either way, it's to connect people together from different parts of the world who have different ways of thinking so we could understand our reality better. And by doing that, we could understand who we are better. Because you are defined by what you are and what you are not. And the only way to find out what you are is to see what you are not. Then you know what you are. This channel also will include all sorts of videos that I post whenever I feel like doing them about various topics on life, whether it be politics, religion, metapolitics, science.
He just said metapolitics. I thought he was going to say menopause.
Life coaching, to overcoming personal challenges, and just thoughts that I have. I also have a section where I'll be posting the videos I make on Twitter on this channel. Also, when I make music, when I feel like doing it, I produce some tracks here and there for fun. I'll be posting that too on here as well. So if you like what I'm building here, which is not just putting up videos for you to watch,
music as
I'm
well.
also building a community.
We need
and
to talk
you can
about
come
music.
talk to me directly at my Telegram channel, which is t.me/AJG_public. And I will leave that link in the description below. So not only am I going to be making videos and having live shows with very cool guests, I also want to connect with you guys. So if you have any questions and you want to talk to me, instead of leaving a comment, which you can do, of course, come talk to me directly because I am active in my chat room and I do want to build a community and I want to help people as much as I can because that's what I love to do. So thanks for stopping by. If you like what you see, please subscribe below and I'll catch you guys later.
Okay, that's cool stuff from Angelo John Gage's channel, who we're going to be chatting with today. Yeah, and the channel is called Reality Engaged, guys. Look, he's at 4.99K subscribers. Let's go over and smash that subscribe button so we can get him over the 5K mark. Let's do it, boys and girls, of course. Whatever you happen to identify as today, I'm happy to call you it. Just if I get it wrong initially, don't call the police and have me arrested. You know what I mean? Okay, we got some really good topics for today. Our guest will be on in about 13 minutes here. Okay, so I'm going to hide that window. I'm going to talk you guys through every single time I click on anything in OBS because I want you guys to know exactly what I'm doing. Okay, Facebook's on fire right now. I'm going to turn off Facebook. It's distracting me. What else is going on here? Oh, okay, someone's asking me to help make another debate happen. People send me stuff like that all the time. They really want debates to happen, and they're like, Pangburn, make this debate happen. I'm like, dude, you make it happen. It's like I want more people to be producing live discussions. Okay, yeah, and we're gonna be talking circumcision, also known as baby dick slicing, today as well. Got some people in the chat already chatting that up. Looks like we got Reality Engage with Angelo. John Gage is in the chat. He's chatting it up. Say hello to Angelo in the chat. He will be live on our screen in about 12 minutes here. Okay, cool. There was something I missed in the chat. Looks like we got 1,391 in the room right now. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I know it's like impossible to get people to smash that like button, but smash it. You know you want to smash it. I'll smash it. You know what I mean? Cool. Alrighty. Just going to take a quick look there. Thank you guys for tuning in today, by the way. If you're not subscribed to this channel, please do. If you're not following me on Twitter yet, follow me on Twitter. I know that's where the cunts hang out, but just give it a chance. My stuff is fun. I'm at the Pangburn on Twitter. And also, make sure you go and follow Angelo, who's our guest today. We'll promote that again, but Angelo is at Angelo John Gage. You can see it on the screen there. AJG. Follow him on Twitter. Twitter is kind of funny. Oh my god, no one has commented on that Periscope video I did. I thought, like, actually, you know, I've blocked it only took me to block like 15 people on there, and then all the hate stopped. So I was like, I think it's 15 people that really like to spread hate about me. So whatever. Haters have their role too, guys.
Travis, I'm here if you're.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I hear you, brother. I'm gonna.
Whatever you want. Yeah, I'm chilling. I'm good.
Yeah. No, it's cool. I'm gonna pull you up in just a second here. I'm gonna make your camera live, guys. We're gonna get the podcast started a little early. Angelo's already here. We might as well jump right into it. So. Yeah, I'm just going to open this window. Okay, Angelo, you are live. Welcome to Pangburn. How's it going, man?
What's going on, man? Finally, we get together.
Yeah, this is awesome. We've only chatted through Twitter Messenger, I think. And I was telling everyone earlier that we the thing that really brought us together, I think, was baby dick cutting. Isn't that beautiful?
It's a sad but beautiful thing at the same time.
Yeah. So, well, I think we should off the bat, first of all, talk quickly. So you're a ESMC war veteran. Did you actually see action, or what was your role when you were working for the U.S. military?
Yeah, when I was in the Marine Corps, I was a combat engineer, so I did see action, but I wasn't involved in shooting people, thankfully, because I'd probably be worse off than I am now mentally. Right. I got PTSD and everything. All of us have it. I don't care what anyone says.
Yeah.
If you've seen, I was in combat zones. I've been, shot at by this dude trying to hit us from like 300 meters, which is stupid. He couldn't hit us, but still, mortars, things like that, explosions. But I personally didn't kill anyone. Thank God. I was a machine gunner on one of the Humvees, but I was ordered not to fire because our guys were over the Saddam Canal. So thankfully, I didn't get involved in any of that. And, learning that Iraq was just lies, thank God I didn't do anything. And, I feel bad for a lot of people who did. I know guys who were in recon that killed children, people with like 12-year-olds with guns. They were because they had no choice,
Fuck.
And they're all messed up. Yeah, they're all messed up, dude. It's not a good thing. But
that's terrible. So where were you stationed?
In the base in the Marine Corps, I was in North Carolina. Yeah, so I was in Camp Lejeune, North Carolina, and then so basically I left. I joined the Marine Corps a year before high school ended. I went to the delayed entry program. So 9/11 happened. I was like, oh my God, we gotta get these bad guys. Signed up for this delayed entry program, which is basically a year prior to going. You get to like hang out with the recruiters and do pull-ups and all that stuff and learn about, and that shaves away a year off your recall service, after you get out. So
can you still do a pull-up?
Oh yeah, right now I'm kind of fat. Right, the stupid quarantine, bro.
Dude, I've been trying to work out. Yeah, I've been trying to do as much as I can, like in my house, but like I get so bored with it.
No, I can't, man. I need the gym, dude, and I don't know when it's going to open again. But I'll probably die of obesity before COVID ever kills me. Yeah. But no, I did the delay entry program at 17. So at 18, 4 days after high school, I went right into boot camp, Parris Island, South Carolina, which is hot as hell. There's all these like fleas and stuff in the sand. It's terrible. And 3 months after that, got back home. Then I went to engineer school. So February 14th of 2003, I was deployed to Kuwait, where we put our base. And then I went to Iraq in March. Then came 5 months after that, came back home. And then the next following year, same date, Friday the 14th, February 14th, which is Valentine's Day, which I hated so much, deployed again.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I actually proposed to my wife on Valentine's Day because she knows I hate it. So she couldn't expect it. She had no clue it was coming. She knows I hate Valentine's Day. I took her there, and that's when I proposed to her. So it was kind of funny. So it kind of worked out. But yeah, I did 4 years in the Marine Corps. And because I did that delayed entry program, 3 years recall back, when you could call you back to come back to war, they shaved 1 year off. But also once I got out, my ankles messed up, PTSD. I'm not eligible anyway to get called back. So
yeah. So no weapons of mass destruction were found.
No. Nothing.
And what, like when you heard that for the first time, what was that like? Was that a big ball drop for you?
I honestly, I learned about things in the Marine Corps when I was still in the Marine Corps. Like because someone sent me that 9/11 loose change stuff, like conspiracy videos. So that's when I started questioning everything, like whatever that led me to the rabbit holes of all conspiracy worlds. But I was like, wow, this could be that. And then I realized, what else did the government do wrong? And I looked into the fact that we were dropping white phosphorus in Fallujah. We were using depleted uranium in the Iraqi war the first time, Gulf War. Kids are deformed. So we were doing bad things for a long time. So I'm like, why is my government doing these horrific things, which are essentially war crimes? And that's when I really got woke about the Marine. So it was like 6 months left in the Marine Corps when I learned all this bad stuff. And I was like, wow, I can't wait to get the hell out of here. And I did. And then after that, I went to community college and I learned some other things. Like, well, my whole life changed with learning that the Iraq war is fake, because if I said my government lies to me, what else is a lie? Oh, religion. Oh, okay. I got to let go of that. I was Catholic for 23 years at the time. So like everything got shattered.
What did that feel? What did that feel like when you shook Catholicism, big weight off your shoulders?
Well, I always, as a young kid, I always thought it was silly that we'd pray and things like that. It just didn't add up. But when I realized, because my whole family's Catholic, Travis, and my family has stories like, well, your grandpa Angelo saw Mary, and he probably did when he was 6, and the kids have a nice imagery. But I have other things like my grandfather, when he died on his deathbed, he's like, Mama, I see you. He's talking to his mom in front of his kids. So there's something going on. I don't think it's supernatural. I abandoned all that supernatural stuff. But I did believe in it for a while, and I had some weird things happen in Iraq that you could see, or supernatural nonsense. But I don't know what it is. But the point is, reading the text of the Bible and stuff like that, I read Jesus's life. It's nice and everything, but then there's other stuff in there that's like, wait a minute, how is it in the same book? And that's what's going on here. So I just let go of religion, and I know people they get upset with things like don't talk about religion. So I don't really mention it anymore. But I'm not religious at all. I consider myself a pantheist, which I believe that the universe is what you would call God. If it's intelligent, I don't know. It doesn't really make a difference. I mean, I don't think there's an afterlife. I don't think that I'm going to hell or heaven or anything like that.
Right.
So yeah.
Okay. Cool. So let's switch gears here and talk George Floyd. So let's go to the incident itself first. What did you see? What happened?
Well, I saw. I mean, it's not like the video showed him die. I mean, the one I saw didn't see him like die. Like, he was just like, I'm on my breath. And either way, it's like, why is this cop doing this? And apparently, he did it wrong. And now they're saying, well, this guy died of complications, which they did last time with Eric Gardner.
Right.
So I'm like, well, you still have your knee in a guy's jugular or whatever it was. Some kind of you're cutting the blood off to the brain, and
the brain.
So whatever.
It's like knee dug right into the brain stem, right?
I mean, this guy got charged with murder and man. There's no excuse. There's no extra video showing he's a criminal or he shot the cop beforehand. There's no video that could justify, even if he was punching them.
Yeah.
The way they did it to this guy nonchalantly, just like, help me, I can't breathe.
Yeah, he was completely subdued, right? It'll be interesting to see what this officer has to say when he's on trial, right? The whole world's going to be listening, like what he was thinking. But let's we're on the same page there. Now let's talk about the protests. Why the looting?
I don't know. I think when I look at people of color, if you want to call them that, when they explain, well, look, we have no other way. Like one woman said, well, you don't like when we put our knee down, so this is what we have to do. You know, or it's like they're attacking CNN, which I can't complain about that. But it's ironic because CNN promotes a lot of these stories, which many times are not true. Like, you know, they always miss information. Oh, this guy did this. So they push the Black Lives Matter narrative.
Right.
But then there are times when it's not right. And it's like, you know, they exaggerated or something else is missing from the story. But then now it's like, this is a time they got it right. I mean, I think you and I agree on that. Like, there's no excuse. I don't care what this guy was. He was in pornography or something. I don't care if he was on meth.
Yeah.
You don't just let someone die like that. That's negligence. At minimum, it's negligence.
Yeah.
But anyway, the point is, I lost my train of thought.
No, that's all right.
What was I saying? What was I just saying?
Well, we were talking about, you know, how they get, you know, CNN is kind of tap dancing with the Black Lives Matter message.
Yes. Yeah. So what's looting? The looting to me, I obviously, you know, I look at it and we're like, wow, that's stupid. What are they doing? It doesn't solve anything.
Yeah.
But to them, that's their way of resisting or like showing like they don't like what's going on with the government. That's their way of doing. That's what they said. Others, I think, don't care about this guy. Of course, among the looters, they're stealing TVs. That's not going to help anybody.
Yeah.
But if you're an African American that's been told your whole life that the white devil stole everything, you know, they hate you, they want to exterminate you, all this stuff, you're going to think, well, I'm going to just take whatever I want. I understand where they're coming from.
Which I have to be very clear about that. Right. Anyone who attributes some kind of characteristic like white devil to all white people, that is racism as well, folks. That is just pure racism. We ought to not attribute, to be careful not to do that.
I know that side of the camp, man.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've been on the pro-white side. I've been on the liberal side. I understand the race baiting game, you know, and these people that run the world, I don't know what your belief is on, you know, the predator class, but these predators, they love the race baiting. They love to keep us peasants at each other's throats with all sorts of arguments and different opinions about different moral things, which, you know, they just keep us distracted while they rob us blind. You want to talk about the real looters? Go to the Federal Reserve.
So I was going to, So I was going to ask you about that. I've heard common enemy.
Yeah, well, you know, people would say it's one group, it's the Zionists, or it could be all. But I've categorized the common enemy, I even wrote it in my book, as supremacists. So in other words, my definition, when I call myself an anti-supremacist, everyone who is a supremacist, and a supremacist to me is any person who believes their worldview and their way of life should be imposed on others because they're superior.
Right.
It could be racial supremacy, religious supremacy. And I even say in my book that I just finished editing, circumcision is a form of supremacy. It's a way of marking a slave in a sense. And so a supremacist could be any person. So when you say it like this, instead of blaming, oh, it's the Jews, which there are many Jewish people, Zionists, there are many left-wing, there's George Soros, but there's also Hillary Clintons, and there's also, you know, Al Sharptons. These are parasite people. You understand what I'm saying? These are the kind of people that live off chaos and manipulate. Again, bankers, of course, but the media, look what CNN has done. So I look at a class of elites that are not among the people. They are psychopaths. A lot of them apparently are pedophiles, according to these rings that are being busted left and right. So I believe the ruling class is this psychopath elite.
Okay.
And it could be anybody.
Right. So let's dive into that a bit. Are there people in this ruling class that are trying to do good?
I don't know, Travis. I don't, and if they are trying to do good, I think that they really suck at it.
For instance, let's look at a guy like Bernie Sanders. Okay.
Yeah.
Do you think, like, in his heart of hearts, to be a bit metaphorical here, do you think he truly does just want the best outcome for all people in his country, or do you think he has some altruistic goal that is essentially evil or bad?
I don't know I don't know him personally. I mean, I've read that he, when he was younger, wrote an article about how women want to get raped. Some stupid entry.
Well, I think he has made some ideological mistakes, just like everyone does through their.
But I don't know him personally. So from what I look at him, people just say he's a socialist. He wants health care. He wants this and that. Another issue again is this division between forms of government, like socialist versus capitalist. It's all nonsense to me. It's irrelevant. It's what works. And I also think that certain groups should live in their own type of government. I'm not a diversity person in the sense that, not racially, I don't care about that. Ideologically, there is no sound reason to live among someone who diametrically opposes everything you stand for. It makes no sense. You wouldn't even run a company like that. So if you and I had a company, Travis, and you want to do the opposite, every time we sat in the boardroom, you and your half were like, no, we disagree. We would just split a new company. So I'm all about like one party states, man. Let's go back to Greeks. Let's go back to the day we used to do it like that. But this whole experiment of democracy, in the sense that let's just get all these people who don't agree on anything and vote to death, literally, while these oligarchs exploit us, makes no sense to me. That's just my view.
What about and this is my dream, is for the world to unite under skepticism and a scientific worldview, right? As our foundation. And as far as morality is concerned, go the Sam Harris route with morality being assessed from a scientific perspective whenever we possibly can. For instance, if we start looking at morality from a well-being standpoint, it's like, okay, well, we know from a scientific demonstrable perspective that drinking poison would be antithetical to your well-being. So we can make actual claims and apply those to people, kind of like we do with laws, that if someone is feeding poison to their children, which we already have laws against this, we can say, okay, you're in trouble because what you did was antithetical to that child's well-being. Do you think that is something that we are moving towards, this kind of explosion of rationality with religion, with religious numbers dying and dogma dying around the world, slowly but surely? Do you think that's a kind of utopia we can look forward to?
Well, yeah, I don't know if objective morality exists. I mean,
I don't think that exists. Yeah. I think it's all subjective, but
I would agree with you on that. It's subjective. And I do think that the world is way better than it used to be. I mean, if you look at the empires, how they used to execute people, inquisitions.
Oh, yeah. You just have to read Steven Pinker for that, man. Steven Pinker with Enlightenment Now, he outlines the statistical certainty how amazing it is to be alive right now, as opposed to yesterday, and keep going back and back.
Go back to when our hominid ancestors were in the ice age. I mean, they weren't having a good time. They didn't have heating.
No.
So I did believe that. I don't believe, I know it seems that the world is getting better, but there's always going to be something crazy that comes up. Like now you can go online and watch cartel videos, people getting cut open like a fish. And I've seen them, and I'm like, and I watch them just to remind myself, wow, what a brutal world we live in. But that used to happen normally. Like, okay, this guy stole bread. and they did it in the middle
public.
yeah.
Well, I mean, and in certain parts of the world, man, it's like people still getting together for stonings and beheadings and all this ugliness. But
I agree with you. I mean, like Islam, for example, they still have that, but I think at some point Islam will probably go beyond that. Just like Christianity was like that too. I mean, the Romans, my ancestors would put you in a brazen bull and cook you alive, or crucify you, or feed the Christians to the lions. I mean, humanity in general, I think, has improved morally.
So what you're saying is Carol Baskin is just a advanced version of Christianity, feeding her husband to the tiger.
Yeah, I would say so. I don't know that story.
I had to squeeze in a little bit of a pop culture reference there. Hashtag views. So there was something I was going to pull up. Let's see if we got any questions from the audience. Guys, if you have questions from the audience in the chat, just make sure you @ Pangburn, just so I don't miss them. Well, why don't we jump into, since we're talking about dogma, why don't we jump into the infant genital mutilation issue? What got you interested in that initially?
Well, I'm not, it's funny because I'm not cut. So I was born in Italy and it didn't happen to me. And it's funny because when me and my friends who were also not cut, we actually had an inside joke. We called each other the bottle cocks. That was our thing. Yeah. Because when we were in middle school, the girls were used to watching the guys with the cut, and me and my buddies, one was Greek, one was from Croatia, one was me from Italy. Right. We didn't get cut. So we actually asked his mom. I said to my buddy, we got to ask your mom, and can we get circumcised because the girls like it? And she's like, are you crazy? No, that's not how it got,
Yeah.
So that was where I began to realize, I'm fine. But I thought culturally I have to get cut because girls like it more. And, I don't know how long it was then. But, as you get older, you realize it doesn't matter. And no girls complained for me.
Yeah.
But I got into it because, it's when I learned that it was completely pointless, first of all, it's an unnecessary surgery. And the reason for it is, it could be religious, but what's even worse are those who don't even think about it. I understand if you're a Jewish kid and you were raised in the community, and this has been happening for 5,000 years or wherever else, or you're in Africa, they do it there. Islam does it. Yeah. But for what? Maybe then you had to do it because there's no running water. You get infected. But now you have water. You have soap. Wash your penis, folks. Right? The meme, the Jordan Peterson meme, wash your penis. And so I didn't cut my son. And I told my friend's wife not to do it. She did it, and now she regrets it, but now it's too late. A lot of people do it because daddies like the same way. So if someone's married to a circumcised guy, they do it, okay. Yeah. It's something we need to bring awareness about. And that's why I was, when I talked to Greg and other guys in the intactivist movement, if you want to call it that, or bodily autonomy, the other ones mentioned, it's important because to me, Travis, it's a violation of human rights. I mean, I even wrote it in my book. I mean, my book's not about circumcision, but there's all different it's kind of like Marcus Aurelius's book, but different topics that are just all over the place.
What's your book? Do you have a title for your book, by the way?
Yeah, From the Mundane to the Metaphysical, Observations and Reflections on Life by Angelo John Gage. It's not out yet, but in it, I mentioned this circumcision. I explain why it's supremacy, why it's stupid. And then I even posit, imagine some authority said, you know what, let's just chop off everyone's earlobes when they're kids. Would you agree with it? No one would agree with it, of course. It's stupid. But the earlobe has nothing compared to the foreskin or to the clitoris hood. But yet parents are chopping off the most sensitive parts of their children's bodies.
Yeah, I talk about that lots. Like what would you? I say this to mothers all the time. I was like, what would you think of me if I started proposing this idea that, it removes the possibility of smegma buildup in little girls if you start removing the clitoral hood and trimming any what I would consider to be too much labia. It's like what would you think of someone when they start proposing that? And Christopher Hitchens used to talk about this in that way as well. It's like, what would you think of me if I was to say something as disgusting as that? Like he would say all the time. We have a one intactivist, John Atkinson, makes a comment here in the chat. Says we need to force the governments to force proper education about natural genitalia. I agree with John there because there's a lot of ignorance when it comes to the foreskin itself. Like people don't think it serves purposes, But as far, in the research I've done, it serves like more than 30 purposes, sexual and functional.
Yeah.
So I think that's an important point.
Yeah, and women don't care. You know, when I was a kid, we thought oh my God, but now they're like, actually, it feels different. I feel this, I feel that. And again, for the man, these glands have to be lubricated. You know, when I see other people that they have, it's like they're dried out. It sucks for them. Then they say no. Some guy got it done later and he felt fine. I mean, who knows exactly? But the point is, my problem is you're taking a human being, you are taking body parts away from them without their consent. So I'm all about the non-aggression principle. I'm all about consenting to things. You're taking the human being in their most vulnerable state and mutilating them for literally no reason.
Yeah.
And then, at least medically, now you have a religious reason. Well, how do I know your religious reasons are true? Or if you're saying, well, God told me to do it, why didn't God just make you without foreskin?
Yeah.
Then you know what tribe you're from.
Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of like, just when people are trying to justify mythical nonsense and dogma or ancient scripture, they can only back up against a wall so much until they're so thin that they're like, well, I just do it because my faith. And that's where Ben Shapiro is right now. He's backed up so far against the wall, he can't make a logical argument for it. So all he can say is my faith. And what I want Ben to understand, and that's why I declared ideological war on him, is that each individual baby, even if it's your baby, you don't get to, and this should be consistent with his religious practice, you don't get to necessarily determine the faith life of that baby.
Correct.
And I think it's inconsistent with his religious belief. So I think there's a way for him to play religious apologetics, to be an outspoken advocate to stop doing this to infants. Will he get to that point? I don't know, but I do believe with Ben, he is a rational, logical guy, and he doesn't want to be on the side of irrationality. But with this thing, and obviously with his religious convictions, he is on that side. And I think, I think I just want to keep pushing hard on him to get some real answers about this.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of powerful individuals behind this. Like, for example, the ADL threatened Iceland to destroy their entire tourist, income if they banned circumcision. I mean, that is an American hate group, if you want to. Because I think an ADL is a hate group. They said to another country, "You will not do this." I'm sorry, and they folded. They're like, "All right, fine." Wow. That's crazy. Yeah. You must cut baby genitals, or you're. I mean, really?
Yeah, it's nonsense.
So, but you made a good point. I actually wrote this as well, so I guess we think alike. I said, what happens when a Jewish or Muslim boy leaves the faith?
Yeah,
they're literally scarred from something they don't believe in anymore.
Yeah,
if I could ask every ethnic Jewish person that you may know, like Lawrence Krauss, whoever, if you could ask them, would you like your foreskin? I don't know if they're circumcised, but I'm assuming they were because they were born in a Jewish family. Would they want it back? Because they don't believe in this stuff. There was no reason for them to get circumcised. You know what I mean? Including, I guarantee Ben would want his back too.
Yeah.
But he had no choice in the matter. And I'm sure he circumcised his kids if he has boys. And so it's like now you have to admit you mutilated your kids. So that's hard on the parents. And then, other people are going to call you names.
Yeah. And I think men have a problem. Men who have been cut generally have a problem talking about this in any negative light because they feel like they don't want to have something that means a lot. Every man, their penis means a lot to them. They don't want to feel like their penis that means a lot to them is somehow diminished because of something their parents decided to do to them. It's a very, very tough topic.
Listen, a lot of guys, I spoke to one guy who's a friend of mine actually, and I didn't know this. It was kind of crazy. He got this thing called the tugger, and he's been for 7 years trying to restore his foreskin by himself.
I've heard about this.
By himself, like literally. I'm like, dude. He's like, yeah, man, it's almost there. It's been 7 years. I'm like, what? Wow. 7 years? I'm like, wow. He's like, yeah, on and off, been doing it, and he's like, it just made me crazy. Like it hurt him. I mean, I'm like, it really traumatized. He was like, yes, I feel like something was taken from me, and it was taken from him. That's the reality. So this needs to be banned. Period. Yeah. I think it's a human rights violation. Yeah. The UN should be on there. They'll talk about female genital mutilation.
Yeah.
They'll talk about that all day. But when it comes to male mutilation, they don't give a damn. And that needs to change.
I think when the next generation to move into power gets into power, we're going to start seeing major worldwide change on this issue. And I think as far as what I want to do for now is I want to kick up some dust and make some noise and get people thinking, parents now thinking, who are going to be having kids who are kind of the same age as me, who are 50 times more rational than the generation before them and the generation before that and so on. So it seems like this thing is going to die out. This kind of fad is going to die out on its own, like religiosity. But I think we still can save some intact penises as we move along this ideological war. Let's jump to this. I just want to ask you this plainly: who are the enemies of free speech?
To me, it's anyone who's against free speech. I mean, anyone. Now, look, it's simple. Like, for example, I'm not saying you should be able to call, a government office and make a bomb threat or say anything that's dangerous. I mean, that's not free. I mean, that is free speech. You will get punished, though.
Yeah, you move from free speech to harassment very quickly, and exactly. You're harassing an institution, harassing a government, or Yeah.
But I mean, what we're seeing today, hate speech, for example,
Oh my God.
And you can't even like, for example, Holocaust revisionism. This is a topic which in 19 countries, whether you believe it or not, it's relevant to me. I don't care what you believe or disbelieve. I don't like the fact that human beings cannot question numbers about an event. Imagine if they said you can't question 9/11.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I agree or disagree about it. I don't care about the narrative. I don't even care what's true anymore. I just care about what the governments do to people. And if you disagree with the Holocaust or the Ukrainian Holodomor or Stalin didn't kill 30 million, it was 50 million, or China. And in Europe, 19 countries, you go to jail. I mean, that's sick.
Yeah,
man.
That is the fact crazy. That you can't have conversations.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah,
any kind of stifling a conversation, and this is what the false belief is. People think that the best. There's a lot of false beliefs out there that they think that the best way to stomp out a bad idea is to silence it by force, and all you're doing is shoving it into the closet. And this is the same thing people do with things like pedophilia. They want to silence conversations about pedophilia and make them taboo, and you shouldn't talk about that. And what they're doing is they're shoving pedophiles into the closet. And why the fuck would you want to have a pedophile in the closet as opposed to out being able to talk about the struggles of what they're going through and things like that? Like, I think, this idea of hate speech or dangerous speech is just it's coming from this trigger culture, cancel culture nonsense that I think most people find very unappealing in general, but a lot of the radicals make it very loud, and it seems like it's a popular thing. But even when I've had conversations with a lot of these kind of intellectual activists who are on the extreme far left of this and want to see people silenced, like Jordan Peterson. They want to see Jordan Peterson, of all people, silenced because he's talking about dangerous masculinity stuff, and all the males are going to go back to the old ages of locking up the woman in the kitchen and things like that. People just get just go completely nonsensical like this. But I've spoken to some of those activists in private when there's no recording equipment on, and they giggle and laugh about the same shit that we do when it comes to this phenomenon of trying to shut down. It's like, like I'll make a joke about, I just said this about this, I guess I better be put away in handcuffs. And they're like, no, it's like, it's just when people like harass others. And it's like, well, we already have laws that say you can't harass another, but simply thinking out loud and talking about ideas isn't harassment.
I've said to people, I want to know what the people who want to kill me are at. Like Antifa, kill white people. I want to know where they are, just so I know who they are. If you tell everyone to shut up and everyone goes underground, you might be living next to a terrorist and you don't know it. I want to know this guy wants to kill me. I want to know where he is so I can protect myself.
Yeah, exactly.
But I just listen. I'm not about book burning. I'm not about anything. Obviously, I don't think free speech extends to having sex with kids on television or bestiality or anything crazy like that. That's not, to me, that's not freedom of speech. Freedom of speech is I could not be attacked by my government, and I could express my views and not be put in jail. But I also think, and someone asked a question, do I believe that YouTube and all these other organizations should have this free speech thing? I think that they've crossed the line with their whole, they're either editors or they're public forums. Which one are they? They're acting as both, and they can't do that. I don't think they should be able to do that. So that's a problem. And the problem is, Travis, this is a technology now. I know people say, private company, free market. I get that. But imagine that you have a technology, which they do, that can control the whole world. I mean, this is essentially, you control information, you control people's perception, which controls reality.
Yeah.
Now you have these private companies that can control everything.
Yeah.
So that's no longer a private company anymore. Sorry, there has to be regulations.
Yeah.
And I was actually saying it would probably be good for the government to have like a Facebook where like a U.S. like I think Dr. Shiva promoted this idea that the U.S. Postal Service should provide some kind of online web forum where everyone could talk. That's protected under the First Amendment, and no one can get banned. That kind of thing.
Yeah.
And if someone is crazy and offensive, you just block them. That's really it.
Yeah, I think
it's a pretty good idea.
I honestly do think that these platforms that essentially have become part of the human language. Like they're really part of the human life and language that we live. Like YouTube, Facebook, it's Google. I mean, just think of Google itself. It's like these are part of the language processes of how we communicate with each other, our personal lives, our work lives, everything. It's all tied in. So there has to be objectivity to that.
Yeah.
We can't have subjective politicism and kinds of trigger culture trying to mute things and like come into it, because what you have to do, and this is why people get this so fucking wrong, what you have to do is start with the individual and endow a solid foundation of skepticism in them, so that when they're engaging with these platforms, all of the stuff that they're seeing is being filtered through their skeptical foundation, and they're making determinations based on proper ways of thinking. I think that should be the goal of educating the next wave of youth, just so that you're not worried about policing necessarily comments and things like that. The individual is actually doing that in their own mind. So
yeah, like I said, I think that these companies have grown too powerful, and it's just it has to be utility at this point. I think, like I said, it is a public square. It's a virtual public square,
right?
And they could literally put out news that work, and they're saying no, they are weapons of mass destruction. It's not true.
Yeah.
So we don't know who checks the fact checkers. I mean, we need more information coming in, and all the bunk stuff will be weeded out.
Yeah.
Believe the earth is flat. I mean, it just happens,
Yeah.
Most people don't.
People,
so it's like you can't, that's the problem. I mean, billions believe in the guy walking on water too. But the point I'm trying to make is we have to allow everyone to speak their mind, and that's how we learn who we are and who we are not. And when you start censoring people, I think you actually make people more curious.
Right.
Like they for example, they banned Mein Kampf, right? And everyone read it in Germany. Like everybody, it was like one of the top selling books ever.
Right.
In Europe, because
that's the thing. Like anytime any major media outlet was calling for a banning or a deplatforming of Jordan Peterson speaking or of his new book, his ratings go through the fucking roof, and he's going like this, and all of his followers are going like this, because you start feeling that you're onto something that's shaking the foundation of what people want the world to be, and you're actually shaking that foundation, which means you've written a pretty good fucking book if you're doing that. So it's like, that's what I mean. People think to cancel each other is the way to shut down the things you don't want, but really you're just bringing more attention to it. And well, one of the chatters are still asking me about, if it's not a monopoly, should someone else create another site? Well, here's the thing about this, Sent. If someone creates there are other websites like Gab. They have no chance against Twitter. No offense to them. BitChute, no chance against YouTube. It's virtually impossible to get the resources. I mean, you need billions of dollars. And like I said, I think there are more actors behind Google. There's probably intelligence communities behind these organizations. I mean, they're data mining, Facebook, data mining, all these people. There's other things going on that we don't know of. I don't think it's just mom and pop shops all of a sudden become $1 trillion companies or whatever. Right. But to make your own YouTube or to make, good luck. It's just it's not going to happen. And they become echo chambers, Travis.
Someone asked me, Angelo, because I got demonetized for some reason. I think because I had Dr. Shiva on about COVID, right?
Right.
So I had this guy on. I interviewed him. I don't even, not saying I agree with him or not. It doesn't matter. Because if you saw my intro, it's like I'm like a Joe Rogan thing. I have guys I don't agree with at all.
Yeah.
And I'll have them talk.
Right.
I interviewed this guy, demonetized, which fine. I wasn't making money anyway.
Yeah.
But that's crazy.
Yeah.
So now they're like, why don't you go to BitChute? And I said to one of my fathers, I said, no, I'm not going to an echo chamber. And no offense to BitChute. The front line is here where the fence sitters are, where the normies are. Exactly. I'm not going to go to BitChute and just talk to people that already know what I'm saying. I got to sit here and, adapt my message to get through these filters, which even when I did, it didn't work. So, once you mess with the wrong people on their radar, you're done. Doesn't matter what you say or don't say.
Yeah, I agree. I get demonetized all the time, and I don't fucking know why, and it just happens all the time. And I've just had to kind of adapt to still get my content out there. So Gregory Malachuk makes a comment at Pangburn: the internet and tech companies are every bit quote critical infrastructure, quote end quote, and should be regulated as such and forced to abide by free speech standards. Yeah.
I agree with him. Yeah, I do. I mean, it's funny because they should at least, for example, you're a YouTube partner, let's say, right? Then YouTube terminates you. It should be like 2 weeks notice or something. Like, hey, we're going to, they got to warn you. They just get rid of you. I know people have channeled 300,000 people gone.
Yeah.
Just gone like that. Like what?
Yeah. It's amazing.
So it's like, this is weird. It's weird. It's, you got to treat people like they're your employees at least or something. I don't know. I just feel like, they need to abide by their own, I almost feel like there should be a third party that like reviews cases and actually YouTube, they didn't violate what you said and you're putting them back on or you're going to get fined or something.
Right. And I know people have like pursued legal action and stuff against YouTube but this stuff just costs so much money and it never goes anywhere. And it's like the average YouTuber or the average content creator can't afford that. It's like, it's just
no, exactly.
The resources aren't there.
Listen, Facebook, for example, there's a guy in my town. His name is Nick Catan. I live in Brick, New Jersey. He's an MMA fighter. Now, this guy, his son died, after a vaccine, right? So because he mentioned he wasn't pro-vax and the dangers, and just gone like that. All those memories, like they're like brutal. They don't even care what the context is, what you said. One of my videos that I got a warning for was me quoting people who called me all these things on Rational Wiki. Like, this is what this guy claims. Repeating those words got me a warning strike. Like, what?
Same as me. Anytime you mention Nazi,
exactly.
I'll see if I get another strike for mentioning it. But there are certain things in the algorithm if you mention Nazi or you put it in your description or anything like that. Because I interviewed a bunch of Nazis that live here in Vancouver, and I put up the documentary. And then eventually YouTube came to the decision to remove the whole thing, but Facebook allowed to keep it up. But yeah, it's like, I agree. There needs to be something thought out here where a third party that's not invested in the virtue of the cash that's created of the company needs to kind of be a third party to kind of assess whether this falls in line with the general laws of where they are operating or something like that.
I think we need more not regulation. We need some other form where it's like it must obey abide by the First Amendment, no matter what.
Right. Yeah.
That's it. Period. There's some kind of website. I mean, the government can do it. They can make healthcare websites to make something like this. I was thinking actually every town should have one, kind of like a Facebook for your town, and then the mayor's there, and like everyone's there, and you're a real person.
Right.
And you just talk through that. Yeah. That's a town square.
Right.
And then that's connected to the state. And then I don't know how it works.
Yeah. Yeah. I guess there would have to be some funding thrown at it, but I think I think it would be worth it. It's this stuff is important to people, I think.
Let's put it this way. Imagine you're a candidate, right? Running for office and they ban you from Twitter, Facebook. You're done. How are you going to win?
You are done. Definitely.
You're finished.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So let's suppose they ban Trump, and I don't even care about Trump. I voted for him and everything, but I'm disappointed in him and I unfollowed him. I don't care. But let's say they banned him, the president. Technically, why can't they do it? What stops them from doing it? I mean, I'm sure there's something, but
and a lot of people and a lot of people that vote for him and follow him and love him rely on that the social media interaction with him. So it's a tough one, but But I think we're kind of at that time where it's come to a peak where everyone's realizing it's kind of that thing that humanity does all the time. We kind of we drag things out until we absolutely have to deal with it with some things, and then when the time comes, like the president's about to get banned on Twitter or something, they're like, "Holy fuck, we got to get some regulation in place to protect free speech." Let's jump to this. What kind of music do you create?
Oh, so I like drum and bass, trance. Okay. I like music. I don't like country music, you know.
Yeah.
I've never liked it, but I like electronic music. That's what I make for fun, and my songs are okay. I started making them. I've always been musically talented. So, you know, when I was in fourth grade, I played the trumpet, but I could always play the piano, the guitar. Not that I know how to read anything. Right. I just know how to hear it. I can play it by ear. So I always messed with, you know, I could even beatbox, you know, whatever. So just I have that musical ear for music, and you know, I got this program called Reason. It started in the Marine Corps. I'd make beats, and it was like a little hobby. I mean, they're okay, but you know, I did them for fun. Really don't pursue it. I didn't ever pursue a career doing it or even try to do it. It was just something I like to do on the side. You know?
Yeah. Well, maybe we'll have to make a track together. I've been playing piano my whole life.
You actually make and you sing, right? Yeah. Good for you. That's pretty cool.
And I've been. What platform do you use to create music?
Reason.
Oh, okay, cool. I know.
Yeah, I mean,
I used to use Reason a long time ago. That's good.
Ableton Live or something.
I use Fruity Loops. That's something.
Oh, wow, that's even that's more primitive than
Reason. Oh yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah,
my friend used to have Ableton Live, and he was like, you know, rapping into it and did ad lib. It was pretty cool.
Cool.
I would make him rap beats. I can make them too. I just have an ear to do it. It's just, you know, when you get the drum and bass though, the thing is with that, it's like a DJ mixing songs, and there's all these effects that I don't really put the energy into. Rap is probably the easiest to make. You know, it's just a repetitive melody.
Yeah.
And you just keep repeating and looping it. But you know, other things are harder to make.
Totally.
But no, I like everything, man. I like, you know, I used to listen to Metallica. I used to listen to Wu-Tang Clan. I mean, nice. I like melody. I like music that sounds good. The lyrics don't really matter to me as much.
I'm actually the same. Like, I'm the same, man.
I like the melody and tones of what's being used, and they have to, like, if you have an awesome lyric and it's a terrible song, I don't care. I don't want to hear it.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah. That's why I've never really got into Bob Dylan, because the guy can't sing his way out of a paper bag. But you know, he's got some poetic lyrics, right?
Yeah. I mean, they're nice to have, but there's got to be that too. And I guess it's just the way. You know what I mean?
Okay, well, let's finish with this one. It's kind of maybe a deeper question about what kind of world do you want to see for your kids, ideally?
Well, I mean, I kind of mentioned it in my book where I talk about the world where this new humanity emerges. So my war against the supremacists will bring up a world where there's anti-supremacists, right? So in other words, anti-supremacists are the ones who actually appreciate the true diversity of the world. So there won't be any forced multiculturalism, won't be any forced diversity, forced borders, none of. Everyone will either be homogenous or mixed together, or from different communities, different races, religions, but there'll also exist homogenous communities, whether it be racially, religiously. So atheists live in one state, you know, why would they live? You know what I'm saying? So like everyone could, by freedom of association, you know, and disassociation, without these, you know, right laws that you forced to do this and that. So the world I'd like to see are people literally forming societies that they wish to be, that are among those who think like them. It's really ideology. If you think the same as another person, everything else is going to trickle down. Your religion, your racial, whatever. If you don't care about race, then you're going to be with people who are mixed. It doesn't matter. If you don't care about religion, or if you don't like religion, you won't probably be around those of religion. But if you don't care, you won't mind. So you might be in that. So let people live how they want to live, you know? So my view, I don't know what kind of government that would be economically. You know, I've studied all of them. Socialism, capitalism, fascism, I understand it. I don't think that one government can work with everyone. I think each group, perhaps even genetically, are predisposed to certain ways of living because of where they evolved around the world. So partially, I think a lot of things that I believe come from this whole natural order. So for me, Trav, I don't know what your worldview is. Are you an atheist, I'm assuming?
Yes. Yeah.
So I say I'm a pantheist because I do leave the possibility that there's some kind of consciousness behind all the natural phenomena. And in fact,
How about I explain what I mean by atheism and what most modern atheists mean, and then I imagine you'll probably fall into that category as well. But atheism, the way I use the term, and most do, is, someone comes up and claims that gods exist, and then I say, "Oh, that's interesting. What is your evidence that gods exist?" And then they present what they believe is good evidence, and they'll show an ancient book, or they'll talk about this thing that they imagined, or that they heard a voice in their head. And then I'll say, well, I'm not convinced that God exists based on what you've told me.
Right.
So it's not making the positive claim that gods do not exist, or that the universe might have a consciousness. It's simply saying, I have not yet seen evidence enough to convince me that those things are.
No, I had Aaron on the show, actually. Aaron Ron on the show. Yeah. So he was. I know. I watch all his videos, so I know exactly what he thinks. So I agree with him 100%.
So you're probably you're an atheist.
Well, often said it's a sexed up atheism. Pantheism is sexed up atheism. But I say pantheism, I feel like, because one of my biggest influences was Alan Watts.
Okay.
And I like Marcus Aurelius, obviously, and also this guy named Sadhguru. He's an Indian mystic. Okay. None of these people believe in God, none of them, but they believe the universe is God, or whatever this thing is. And it's very possible that this thing has I don't know how it works, but I don't think it's centralized. I don't think it's one brain or mind that controls everything. I think it's an infinite amount of conscious minds that just exist. And I don't know how they shape reality. Maybe evolution is driven by, maybe evolution isn't a blind process.
So
maybe it was,
right.
I have no idea.
So I think the thing,
but it's not a person that sends lightning and kills you like Zeus or any other. Don't believe it.
So I think the thing would be to discover is whether you think that is the case, or whether you think that it's possible that that's the case. Because if you just think it's possible that that's the case, you're an atheist. But if you're willing to take on the burden of proof of claiming that is the case, then you would be a pantheist. So
well, I guess, I mean, I don't think everything's. I don't think material and immaterial are any different. I think a lot of this is semantics. Because what's material? If I zoom into something, it's atoms, and it's quarks, and it's swarks, and the blur. Who knows what it is? Infinitely going to. It's literally nothing.
Well, I would say the scientific method determines what's going on in the observable universe. For instance, like, we can test that this is made of glass and it's got some water flavored liquid in it, and this proves to be reliable when we apply that method to build things like jet propulsion engines and tires and vaccines and things like this. So I would say that science has been demonstrated to work, at least in the way that we want to use it. So I would say that we need to apply those methods to all of our ideas, and obviously the laws of logic and things like that, and just to see what is and what hasn't yet been demonstrated. And I would say what you're proposing, this pantheistic idea of there being a mind or some kind of conscious control of the cosmos, I would say that hasn't been demonstrated, but of course, like any claim that is made about anything, it is possible, right?
Well, pantheism is basically just me saying that I'm an atheist, but I think it's possible that maybe it's not matter that's fundamental, but consciousness.
Interesting.
That's what I'm trying to say. So I don't, but we don't even know what consciousness is, and again, we don't even know what matter is. We don't even know what energy is. We know how to use it. We know how to measure it. We don't know what it is, and that's not appealing to any gods of the gaps. I'm just saying, to me, I think I like the yin yang. It represents, like, there could be this material, quote unquote, plus immaterial that kind of works together and meets in the middle and shapes everything. It's almost like the material is the what do you call it? The Play-Doh, and then the immaterial would be the forces of nature. Because what is gravity? Like, what is electromagnetism?
Well, I would say if you ask the scientists what gravity is, it's just the theory that's been built around demonstrating why things fall towards a certain point and why there's a pull, right? So I would say we have pretty good understanding and definitions for most things that are happening in reality, And I think a lot of people like to think with their, let's say, with their right side of their brain, the artistic, the creative side of their brain, and think of and imagine other things that could be possible out there, which is a fun exercise. But I think sometimes people confuse that exercise thinking that they're actually engaging with left brain, thinking about what actually is or can be demonstrated. I think, for instance, I'm interested in what's plausible, not what's possible, just because I know I could sit around writing down stuff in a book about what's possible until the end of time, and a lot of that stuff wouldn't be plausible. But that's why I love the scientific worldview, because it
I love science too, man. I really appreciate science. I just leave it open that, you know what, I'm not, I mean, technically we're all agnostic.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm
open.
open.
That's really what it comes down to. We can't make a claim either way. We could just believe in one way or the other, or again, demand for more proof, which there won't be any. I don't think we'll ever prove such a thing, you know. So
yeah. Well, we'll have
it's not going to change anything. It's not going to change. I tell people, look, you know, even if you were in a flat Earth, does your mortgage go away? Is right. Cancer going to go away? It doesn't change anything, you know.
Yeah.
So
well, awesome, man. Well, I really appreciate the conversation we had today. I want to have you on for more. I think we should do this again. I'd be happy to come on your channel if you want to do something. But yeah, let's keep in touch about this war of ideas against Ben Shapiro. I think it's I think this conversation, this world tour I want to set up about this to kind of hit all countries around the world and talk about this issue. I think it's going to be the big ideological war of the century, and I hope we can be involved in that together. So,
well, count me in, man.
Awesome. Well,
right, Travis.
Thanks again. We'll talk to you soon.
Yeah, brother. Thank you. Take care.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, guys. That was Angelo John Gage. I hope you guys enjoyed that conversation. That was a lot of fun. I'm just going to jump back on the chat with a bit of a post-show here. What did you guys think? I thought that was a really good conversation. I really like his personality, actually. I think I should get him on the channel more here. He's a great conversationalist. I'm just going to go through, see if I missed any comments. Reap and Rap says, at Pangburn, maybe he can produce a Lawrence Krauss and Neil deGrasse Tyson hip-hop mixtape. Nice. Ishitaq Hussein says, at Pangburn, for me, I would be attracted to Angelo's channel if he had some ex-Muslim testimonies. That's cool. I'm sure he will hear that feedback. I hope you guys enjoy the chat. We still have 1387 in the room. We got 20 likes. Make sure you guys hit that like button. I'd really appreciate it if you do. Let's see. Yeah, and honestly, guys, I think that's it. Zent says, I thought it was good shit. Nice. Richard Haynes says, yeah, Angelo is cool. Ishitaq Hussein says, good show. Reap and Rap says, yeah, I like him. Zent gives us the peace sign. Peace, man. And what else we got here? Yeah, cool. Yeah, thank you guys, and remember to go over and subscribe to Angelo's channel. That would be awesome. Let's get him over that 5,000 sub mark tonight. Reap and Rap says, at Pangburn, can we talk about the riots? We talked about it earlier in this video, this live stream, Reap and Rap. So when we do end this, just head back and you'll see when we did talk about it. Anyways, guys, that's it for me tonight. I hope you guys enjoy your weekend because this is Friday. I'm going to go have a beer. I hope you guys have fun this weekend. Make sure you are subscribed to Pangburn here. Follow me on Twitter. Follow me on Facebook. You'll find us everywhere. And as always, let art and science inspire. Thank you.